Okay, you've been disputing items on your credit report and they're just not going anywhere. You've submitted letter 609 letter to the creditor saying, hey, I need documentation on the items being reported on my report. They send that back. You said, hey, investigate the accuracy of the validity of this account. They say, yep, we checked, meets FCRA guidelines. You say, still won't remove it. So you say, you know what? I need to deal with the creditors directly because the credit bureaus keep saying that the creditor says it's correct. So now let's hold the creditors' feet to the fire and say, with a 623 letter, I want to dispute inaccurate information directly to you because the credit bureaus keep saying it's you. So how do we do that? Well, let's talk about a 623 letter. The section 623 letter is designed to leverage the rules under the section 623 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That section requires the data furnishers, that is the creditors themselves, the lender, the actual lender you borrow from, the creditor, and maybe even the collection agency. We're forcing them to provide us accurate and complete information to provide that to the credit bureaus so that they'll stop reporting inaccurate information. When we dispute information directly with the furnisher must investigate and, if necessary, update the information that they report to the bureaus. So, let me tell you what the key components that make up a section 623, or let's just call it a 623 letter, right? First of all, that 623 letter should request an investigation. We're asking for investigation. We're not asking for documentation. We're asking for an investigation. We're asking the furnisher, that lender, directly to review and verify the reported information that they're giving to the credit bureau. We're asking them to go look in their files and look at our account record that they have on us and go back and check the information and make sure that everything, that the paperwork that they have in their files is what's being reported, not whatever we're seeing currently. They need to go back and verify, check, double check. That 623 letter should demand the documentation. Secondly, first we want an investigation, then we want documentation. We want them to provide us the proof that supports what they say is the answer. We want the details, because the devil is in the details. We want contracts. We want account histories. We want dates. We want to see all that paperwork. So we want them to investigate it. We want to see what paperwork they review for the investigation. And then in the letter, we want to make sure we place an expectation for correction. We want to tell them straight up that if the information is unverifiable or inaccurate, that they must correct or delete it from our credit report. So make sure that your letter has that verbiage in there. That's exactly what you want them to do. So how does the 623 letter differ from other letters like the 609, 611, or some of the general dispute letters? Well, here's how the 623 compares to those other letters. The 623 letter focuses on the furnisher, that lender, that original creditor, or maybe even the collection agency if they have all the information, and that's who's reporting. Unlike the 611 and the 609 letters, the 623 goes directly to the creditor or the agency that reported the information, not the bureaus. We don't send 623s to the bureau at all. We want the 623, we want to hold direct responsibility to the furnishers, because the furnishers are required to investigate and correct inaccuracies directly, whereas the credit bureaus have to facilitate the process by checking with the creditor. Now we're going right to the horse's mouth, so to speak, and we're telling them, check your records, check your internal file, get our stuff straight, and then report it to the credit bureaus. The 623 letter speaks on legal grounds. Of course, Section 623 itself, which emphasizes the duty of the data furnishers to ensure accuracy and correctness. Of course, we know the first rule in the Fair Credit Reporting Act is that any and all information on a consumer's credit report must be 100% true and accurate. So obviously, Section 23 supports that initial thing just as well as any others, especially when the inaccuracies are being directly disputed by us. So, when do you use the 623 letter? 623 letters are best used when bureau disputes have failed. So, if we've done disputes like with the 620, 609 or 611 directly to the bureaus, and those disputes did not result in the removal or correction, 623 dispute will compel the furnisher to provide any additional information that may have not been provided in those other attempts. In other words, they may have to provide us something that may not have been provided to the credit bureaus. The 623 is great when you have incorrect information that originated with the creditor. So any inaccuracies, because we asked the bureau says, hey, we put what they told us. So now we got to call out the creditor and say, hey, what's going on? Prove to me that what you say is true, because I don't believe it's true. If inaccuracies originate from the creditor or the lender, the 623 letter can directly address those discrepancies. Now it's important, and I forgot one other thing. The 623 is especially great when you have complex account errors. Items like collections, mortgage discrepancies, which are huge, or any credit card billing issues that created some kind of miscommunication. And so it's better to get that direct communication from the furnisher with the creditor for effective resolution. So 623 is great in those circumstances. Now the 623 letter has some pros and some cons. 623 letters are great because they target the source of information. We're going right to the horse's mouth, and it'll allow you to address the issue directly with the furnisher, increasing their accountability. So it's no longer, oh, he said, she said. Let's go right to the source and get them to straighten the file out so that going forward they will always report it correctly to the credit bureaus. The 623 letter is also terrific for complex cases, and it's especially useful for accounts involving collections, mortgages, and other financial products that may have reporting errors. So 623 is great for those because those have high impact on the credit. The 623 letter enhances credit accuracy. Obviously, the 623 disputes can lead to corrected or updated information on your credit report, improving credit accuracy. Now, the downside of 623 letters are they can be time consuming because creditors' response times vary depending on their staff and their ability to process the request. Some take longer than others, and some may take a longer time beyond the 30 days to respond. Now, the 623 letter obviously is no guarantee of removal. If the furnisher has adequate documentation to support the report, they may not correct or delete the information, obviously. But it may reveal additional errors in other ways just through the investigation process. 623 letters require a higher burden of proof. So when you're submitting a 623 letter to the creditor, you may need to provide more substantial documentation to support your case, because you might think, oh wow, why do I have to support documentation? They started the loan, but they may not have something may have happened between the initial loan and now. And so if they're not seeing something, you say, here's what I got, and they go, oh yeah, we do have that in the file, something like that. So using the 623 letter, you definitely want to have your own documentation, and the burden of proof is on you to say it's wrong because I got something that says it's wrong, not just I don't believe it's wrong. So the best strategies for using 623 letters: you want to include evidence of inaccuracy. You want to request detailed verification information. You want to use certified mail with return receipt. I always recommend that. That way you can track the receipt of your letters. They can't claim they never got it. And then you want to document the response timeline, and that certified mail goes a long ways towards that. You want to always make sure you keep a file and a paper trail, so that if you ever have to escalate to CFPB or hire an attorney, if they're being really difficult, you have a paper trail. Any letters you send, I suggest you make a copy for your records, and then when you get a response, you attach that response to that letter, so you know, here was my question, here was my answer. You want to do that with all the letters. That way you got a trail of back and forth, at question asked, response received, and then if they've updated anything, you want to attach the credit report showing evidence of the change. Now, I've given you all the information and the key pieces to make a good 623 letter. You can certainly create one yourself, and as long as you got those elements in there, it may be okay. Now, many of you, which is fine, but I recommend you make sure you have those essential pieces. Many of you may go out and shop for a template. There are lots of folks out there who sell dispute letter templates and packages and kits and things like that. I would strongly advise that if you can see what the template looks like, to ensure that it has the essential elements that I outlined here before you buy it. Otherwise, you may end up buying an ineffective letter. In recent times, we have AI to support things. I recommend, now I have a DIY platform. It's supported by AI. The beauty of this is you upload your credit report. It looks at your credit report. It flags all the negative items on your report. It asks you item by item, what is your thoughts about this particular account? And it says, are you looking to dispute it? Do you want information? Do you want to validate and verify it? Do you want documentation? And by making those selections, it will generate a 623 letter for you using AI that knows exactly what to say. And it's talking about your accounts, customized for your accounts, your situation. So it's not a general template where you got to try to plug in your pieces, thus assuring that you're going to get a good letter that's going to get you a good response. An additional benefit of using the platform is that it will track everything for you. So while I do recommend you still maintain a hard copy printed out on paper, when you're trying to track their response times and things like that, the system will help you track all of that. So I think it's a great tool to use. If you haven't already signed up for it, I recommend that you register to receive access to it. You can do it through various ways. There's a number of ways you can do it. You can request a credit analysis from me, or you can register for the webinar, and then you can get access that way. Or you can DM me and request that and provide me the information, and I'll tell you how to register for that, and then that way you can have access to it. Now, of course, that works. So let me give you a quick recap. You want to use a 623 letter to direct disputes with the creditors, not with the bureaus. You want to demand verification and correction of inaccuracies, holding the creditor accountable, and you want to keep thorough records of your correspondence and your responses for possible escalation. By using the 623 strategically, you can address discrepancies at their origin, at the source, leading to a more accurate and favorable credit profile. This approach strengthens your dispute strategy by compelling creditors to meet the FCRA standards and can greatly enhance your success for your credit repair. So if you like this video, I'm going to ask that you please like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. Click the bell for notifications, and then that way each time I upload a video, you'll know about it. I please ask that you comment. I don't want, I'd like to have a little bit more than just, hey, it's great. I want feedback. I want to make these videos better. I want to know what you guys want me to talk about. I try to cover all the relevant topics in mortgage, in credit, and in finance. But I want to know what you guys want to know. I want to know what you want the conversation to look like. So please like and subscribe. Also check out my webinar, my weekly Wednesday webinar. Right now it's on Wednesdays, but it's a live webinar where you can come on and you can ask questions. You can listen to other folks' questions. And it's an opportunity for us all to learn a lot more, when it comes to the credit. So until the next video, thank you for watching.